premiered with composer Richard Strauss, or Richard if you prefer, Strauss, conducting it in 1943. And it was composed for the Vienna Trumpet Corps and dedicated to the Vienna Town Council. The original instrumentation was pretty interesting. It was for 20 trumpets, 7 trombones, 2 tubas, and timpani. Peter King restored the work for modern British brass band in 1978, and is frequently performed by brass bands worldwide. We're so happy he created this new version, as the work in its original instrumentation is rarely heard today. Malcolm Arnold, our next piece, is 4 Scottish dances, was composed in 1957 and are dedicated to the BBC Light Music Festival. Originally composed for orchestra, they're based on original melodies, except for one, which is a melody that was composed by Robert Burns. The first dance is in the style of a Strathspey, a slow Scottish dance in 4/4 meter, with many dotted notes, frequently the inverted arrangement known as a Lombard rhythm or Scotch snap. The second movement is a lively reel, and it's kind of fun. You're going to hear the melody many times. It starts in the key of E flat, and every time it repeats, it goes up half a step. But then we reached a point where the bass trombone player plays it at a greatly reduced speed, reminiscent of a tipsy sailor, expressed by glissandi and staggering rhythms. After the drunken sailor gets home, the final statement of the dance is back in the original key of E flat. The third dance is a lyrical song, and it gives the listener an impression of the sea and the mountain scenery on the calm summer days in the Hebrides. The last dance is a lively dual Scottish fling, and it brings the entire work to an exciting close. Many of us in the band love John Painter's concert band version of this, and today we still enjoy playing it, Ray Farr's brass band arrangement that he did in 1984. We hope you enjoy listening to it as much as fun as we have playing it. 4 Scottish dances. Our next work by Goff Richards was composed for the Kirkby Lonsdale Brass Band back in 1995. It's in the style of a brisk 6/8 march, but with the form of a rondo. Now, if you've never heard of a rondo before, it's quite simple. A lot of composers use the form Mozart, there's many famous rondos. It's really the main melody and something in contrast. Then it comes back to that main melody again, and then something different. Then it comes back to that same melody again. So, in the form of a rondo, and it's a march. Jock Richards was born in 1944, died in 2011. He was a prominent Cornish composer of many brass band works. Also prolific arranger for brass band, jazz, big bands, and also choral ensembles, composing for the King's Singers, the Swingle Singers, and the Apollo Men's Choir. His primary instrument was trombone, and he worked professionally with Malcolm Arnold, which makes his Kirkby Lonsdale March a perfect selection to follow Arnold's Scottish dances. I think I got it? Yes. Okay. There's two different switches on this. I was hitting the wrong one. Pulse. Some of you know, I hope, he's most well known for his suite for orchestra called The Planets. He wrote concert band music, his suites in E-flat and an F for military concert band. But this piece, the St. Paul Suite, was composed after he was appointed music director of the St. Paul Girls' School in Hammersmith. Now, this became his longest teaching commitment he held in his whole lifetime. And in 1912, a new music wing was opened, and that's what Holst wrote his music for. Comprised of 4 movements, it was inspired by the wealth of folk music, and each movement reflected a different dance or song. The jig that we're going to play in our version was the first movement of the suite, and it alternates between 6/8, the others would feel it in 2, and 9/8, which would feel in 3, with contrasting melodies. Listen for the musical conversation between the melodies and how he blends the melodies to bring the piece to a close. Jig from St. Paul Suite. so much. It's that delightful music. We are going to take a short 10-minute intermission so that our players can rest their lips a little bit, and you can stretch your legs. Just a little housekeeping. There is a single restroom right across the hallway, but there's larger school restrooms down through the cafeteria, so if you're going out and you take a right, you will find those, and we will see you back here in 10 minutes. Thank you. say a few words about that piece before we move on. If the Spitfire Prelude sounded a little bit like movie music, you are not wrong. It was part of a 1942 film score for the first of the few, which is released in the United States as Spitfire. The first of the few is the 1942 British black and white biographical film produced and directed by Leslie Howard, who stars as R.J. Mitchell, the designer of the Spitfire fighter aircraft. As with many contemporary film scores, the Spitfire Prelude, with or without the fugue, which is another section, has taken on a life of its own outside the film. The prelude was heard during the opening credits, but shortly after the release of the film, there came multiple orchestral performances and recordings by such groups as the London Philharmonic and the New York Philharmonic, with Stokowski conducting. There have been many arrangements for this composition for concert band, brass band, and even organ. William Walton composed 14 film scores, and he really is classed by many to be a romantic modernist. And many of his works are still heard in concert halls today. Next, we turn to more recent works and move into familiar melodic territory for many of you in the audience. MacArthur Park was written by Jim Webb during the 1967-68 year and was the last section of a 22-minute-long cantata. The song was popularized by both Richard Harris and Donna Summers. It's essentially a breakup song drawn from Webb's experiences and observations in MacArthur Park, Los Angeles. It was composed originally in 4 movements for the band The Association. By the way, I could not find a recording of it by The Association, so obviously that never happened. But it was recorded in 1967 by Irish actor and singer Richard Harris. You won't hear the lyrics in this arrangement of this great song, but they've inspired much discussion over the meaning over the years. And I discovered in my research, there's mention of a cake, and there's quite a few recipes for the MacArthur Park cake, which is described as very tasty, made with local honey, strawberry jam filling, and green icing flowing down the sides. I just might have to make one for St. Patrick's Day. So other people that made this piece popular included Maynard Ferguson, Frank Sinatra, and even Glenn Campbell. So next we bring you MacArthur Park. Bohemian Rhapsody may be the most popular and familiar song performed by the rock band Queen, led by Freddie Mercury. Believed by many to be one of the most influential rock songs ever, it was released in 1975 as part of Queen's fourth album, A Night at the Opera. It was released as a single shortly after the full album, and that's when it became an international success. Here we are, 50 years later, performing just one of the many arrangements of this song. This whole concert was put together through players' requests, and this piece has a special place in the hearts of band members. As one of our founding members, Dave Goodiston, conducted this arrangement with his band 9 years ago. Dave passed away recently, and we all miss him. His warm smile, generous, gentle nature, and superior skills in the cornet section. He was greatly valued as an inspirational music educator. He touched the lives of many, including all of ours on stage. The band decided that we would like to dedicate this next piece to his memory and also donate all proceeds from this concert to the scholarship fund at MCA, Minnesota Conservatory of the Arts. Dave taught jazz combos and private lessons at MCA, which private lessons we all know are often out of reach financially in many families. MCA will use the proceeds donated today to cover partial or complete costs of instrumental lessons as long as possible based on your generosity. If you wish to write a check to MCA directly, please add a note on the memo line that would say lesson scholarships or good listed memorial, or contact us through the Facebook page. Our donation box out front also has envelopes that you are welcome to use. So we dedicate this whole concert, especially the next piece, Bohemian Rhapsody, to memory of Dave. Here we are to our last piece. And this one is a gem of a march, composed 30 years ago and dedicated to the mayor of Peck in Belgium. Rob Ayers is an active composer of music for both concert band and brass band. Many of his compositions are available in both formats. It's like one piece published both ways through his publisher, Winona Press. The town of Peck is located in the French-speaking part of Belgium in the Wallonia region. And it's a beautiful place. I spent some time looking on their website and the travel advisor and all those things, because I love Belgium. Maybe we'll get there someday. But it kind of explains the title of this beautiful, magical place, because Zauber translate as magic. Zauber March. One last thing, I almost forgot. Our next Winona Brass Band concert will be a holiday concert, and it will be on December 13th. We did this for the first time last year, and I bet a number of you were there. It's at 11 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, December 11th, and it's kind of in between two other events, but it makes for a great day. There's a bake sale first, Scandinavian goodies at Central Lutheran, and then our concert at 11, and then afterwards, soup and salad luncheon. So come and enjoy that wonderful holiday spirit and morning with us on December 13th. Thank you so much for being here, and safe travels back home.